Hey guys, welcome to the Jedi Night's Watch. My name is Graham, and this is the first live stream that we're doing. First time we're going live. I'm very excited. Can't wait to hang out with you guys. Without further ado, let's go. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Like I said, this is the first live stream, so please be gentle with me. It's a little bit different doing this than just recording a video and being able to cut the video and go back and fix something. So definitely had to get the courage to get on here live with you guys. But we have so many great followers that I've been wanting to do this for a while, just to interact with the cool subscribers, the community that we have. It's a lot of fun. So I'm really excited, and I've kind of been thinking about doing this for quite a while. So this is kind of going to be just the intro to what we're doing here. And so I want to do a couple videos, maybe weekly, maybe bi-weekly. We'll kind of see how it goes. We'll see how long they're going to be. They might be a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. They'll probably be on the shorter end for right now. I'm assuming we won't have a ton of people watching right away, but the more people that we get, the more back and forth we can have, the more questions I can answer, and stuff like that. So what this show is called is Scale Symposium, and it's really just discussing new announcements, releases, movies and TV that relate to Scale community. Basically, it's a way for me, like I said, to interact and hang out with you guys, because that's what it's all about. So I want to do this show. Maybe in the near future, I want to do something else called the Jedi Council, and that would be bringing other collectors on, maybe YouTubers, maybe just subscribers such as yourselves out there, just to discuss the same thing above, hot toys, Scale figures, all of that cool stuff. So yeah, we'll see how these do, and we'll kind of go from there. Tonight, I want to talk about some announcements. We have Athena. We have I know it's quarter scale. It's not scale, but the Iron Man quarter scale that was announced. And then new releases. Hot Toys has been busy. We got the Mark 85 Battle Damage. We got Pennywise, Batgirl, and of course Wonder Woman, which is one I've been dying to talk about. And that's actually what kind of made me be like, okay, I got to do a live stream. We got to talk about this Wonder Woman. We want to talk about Book of Boba Fett, the first episode, and maybe some figures that we think are going to be coming our way. And my most anticipated figures of 2022. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. So let's just jump right in. Let's see who we got here. We got Daniel in the house. You guys get a prize, and yes, it's listening to me ramble on about Scale stuff. Rob in the house. He wants a prize. It's probably going to be a fantasy football championship loss. I just want to see where we're at right here. I haven't watched the game, but Rob and I are in a dynasty league together. Rob is the other half of the Jedi Night's Watch. We want to get him back on here soon here, but he might not want to come back because he might be losing tonight. So we got primetime reviews in the house. Thank you for joining. Trav, thank you for joining. Travis, Josh, I do want Wonder Woman, Josh, and you will too when we talk about her. So Shane, what's up from Ireland? Thank you so much for joining, dude. What time is it over there? Rob says he's hoping to get the new Andrew Garfield and Tobey Spider-Man from No Way Home. They haven't announced those yet, and that's kind of, we're going to talk about Spider-Man a little bit, but I will say that I have not seen the movie yet. I know it's just crazy to even think that, but I probably won't see it for a little bit. I do know some of the spoilers. Hot Toys with some of their time frames kind of makes me wonder a little bit. Like they release what was it? Black Widow. They released her before the movie came out, but then Yelena they released like way after. Spider-Man, the black suit, they released before the movie came out, but then now it's like the movie's kind of like right when it was hot. We didn't release any villains, any other Spider-Man figures. Like they got to be releasing some villains, like Green Goblin, Doc Ock. I mean, are those going to be coming? That's we'll see here. Shane says it's 2:30 a.m. Wow, that is dedication. I do appreciate that, sir. Yeah, Rob, with the spoilers, it's okay. I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet, and to be honest, enough time has passed, so it's okay. And then Josh is going to be our Monday Night Football guy. He is going to give us the updates that Baker's thrown another interception. Oh, that's great. I like to hear that. As long as Nick Chubb doesn't get any more than 8 points, then I should be okay. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for joining. This is a lot of fun. Hopefully we can keep this going and just see what comes of it. So let me see here. I'm going to start with bringing up Athena. And here we have her. In case you didn't know, she is from Eternals. And this is Angelina Jolie's character. And this is kind of confuzzling to me because are we going to get any other characters from Eternals? Does anybody even remember Eternals coming out? It came out in theaters, November? And it kind of got thrown by the wayside. I think the Spider-Man No Way Home hype was there. Just a lot of other things going on that I don't think people really gave this movie too much attention. I did check it out on IMDb, and it's getting like a 6.8, which isn't terrible, but there's a bunch of characters, if I'm not mistaken. So are we going to get more? Are they going to do one-off? Like, we go back to the Suicide Squad. They made, I can't remember his name. I can picture it in my head. The Shark. And no Harley Quinns yet. Again, Hot Toys with some of their time frames, like announcing stuff. Harley Quinn it's not like an Iron Man or a Spider-Man, but Harley Quinn is a beloved character that a lot of people will buy. They haven't announced anything yet, but then they announced the Shark and nothing else from the Suicide Squad. Here we have Athena from Eternals and nothing else yet. So I just don't know how many people are really going to want to purchase this when they're just getting possibly the one character. But let's take a look at her anyways. I kind of dig the outfit. It's got that weird like ivory color / kind of yellowish. I don't know too much about the Eternals. Rob, I know you looked at some of this a little bit ago, but yeah, here he says bad reviews for the Eternals. Yeah, I really didn't hear too much about it, so it just kind of got, I think, brushed under the rug. But the head sculpt, I think, looks pretty good. Does it look spot on to Angelina Jolie? Well, that's all subjective. I mean, I see things different than you guys do. I think it looks good at most angles, and I gotta say, Hot Toys is really, in 2021, they were really knocking this stuff out of the park. Like the head sculpts, that's why we get Hot Toys. Yes, for the detail in the outfit and everything, but the head sculpt is the moneymaker, and we're going to talk about that with Wonder Woman coming up here in a little bit. But the sculpted hair, they're getting better at that as well, and I'm glad that they're getting away from rooted hair, because when we look at figures with rooted hair, we seem to think of Barbie dolls and figures like that. They just don't look realistic. We're paying a premium. People have their opinions. I think she looks good, but I'm glad that they went with the sculpted hair. I think you have to nowadays. It's just, it looks so much more realistic. So but again, this is the prototype, so it's not going to look the exact same as this. But look at that. You even have like the little freckle here. You can just almost see the skin pores. The detail is really good. I just don't know anything about the character, so I'm not invested in her. I think she looks great, but this is going to be one that I'm easily passing on. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the figure. Do you think it looks like Angelina Jolie, or do you think not so much? Oh, Josh, he's so modest. He says she looks hot. That's great. Daniel says we didn't get Clone Wars, Kenobi, or the rest of the Bad Batch, so it doesn't look good getting all the Eternals. Exactly. That's a great point, Daniel. The Bad Batch, they came out with what, two of the characters there. I tried watching that. I got 3 or 4 episodes in. I just couldn't get into it, but I've heard some good things about it. Rob says she looks good, though. I think so, too. Again, I think the outfit looks great. I don't know exactly what material that is, if it's going to be really posable or not, but I think it looks good. Shane says that it looks great, but again, easy pass. You saw the movie, give it a chance. Wasn't a fan. There's no hope they make the full team. Yeah, that's why even release this if the movie's not doing well. You're not going to make the rest of the team. I don't know. It's to me, it's just weird. Some of the Hot Toys decisions, they're a great company and they make a lot of money, so they're doing something right. But some of the decisions just have me kind of scratching my head. So Rob says, I don't think many will buy this if she's the only one from the movie. I mean, that's a good point, and she's probably not coming out till 2023. So, that's I guess we'll see. Let's see if there's any other pictures here. I mean, that one looks really good. You guys got to admit, like, the detail in these figures is just crazy. And I think that's why we love them so much, is because the nostalgia feeling, but then also just, it's like having a 6 scale version of that person or character in your house. So, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Looks like, so we have kind of like some transparent weapons that go along with her. Yeah, let's move on. I mean, it's great and all, but again, not going to be one that I'm really interested in. Next, and again, this is 6 Scale Symposium, and this is a quarter scale figure that we're talking about. So this thing's going to be massive, but I still wanted to bring it up and just take a look at it. And this is Hot Toys' moneymaker, if anybody doesn't know, is Iron Man and Spider-Man. That's what makes their money. You're always going to get Iron Man and Spider-Man figures. People get sick of it in the community because it's kind of like, let's focus on something else. But this is their cash cow. So this is what they're going to do. So this is the Mark IV from Iron Man 2 with the suit-up gantry. This thing is, again, quarter scale. This is going to be massive. I don't know how you display it. I don't know. You'd probably have to get a Maju case or just have it on a shelf. You're not going to fit into a DTOF by any means. So the detail, look at the detail in the gantry. Just, it's going to have light up features. I haven't looked too close, but I would hope it would have like an AV power outlet so that you could plug this thing in and have it running all the time. Because that's the thing with Iron Man, which I wish they would find a way to do, is so you don't have to install all those batteries, especially on the 6 scale figures, because it's such a pain. Like, just have one wire coming, one skinny wire you can hide. Let's plug it in. Here it is. Dude, this is, I wish they would have, they have in centimeters here. I'm not great with centimeters, but man, this thing is going to be massive. One thing though is it will not be die cast. This is going to be plastic because the price point is just going to be way too high if they were to make this die cast. This is probably one of my favorite suits. My first Hot Toys Iron Man was actually the Mark IV. And again, that's what this is. I like the suit design. It's kind of classic, sleek, and I just, I don't know, something always made me gravitate towards this suit. So I do like it a lot. Again, it's going to be plastic because this is like, this is going to be statue money right here. So I think Hot Toys also knows that statues are becoming more and more popular with the community, the collecting community out there. So they're trying to get into that game too and give you this posable figure instead of a statue. This is something that we can make into whatever pose we want. And I think you can do a lot of cool stuff with this. It doesn't have to just be with the arms in the gantry, the suit up gantry. I think you can do a lot with this. And the colors look great. You can see the details in the suit, just kind of nicks and scratches going on there. It just, this will do, I think it'll do well. But it's probably going to be a pretty penny. But just looking at all this stuff going on that's something else. I mean, that's pretty cool. So again, this isn't going to be 6 scale, but it's still worth noting. It is Hot Toys, and it is going to be probably a work of art here, man, because they do a good job with Iron Man figures. And every Iron Man that comes out, they seem to do something better and better from the last version. So I'm excited to see this. Here we have him in the power pose here kind of thing. That would be pretty cool. I'm guessing this thing would take up most of my desk here. So, but that would be really cool to have, just to kind of have him in that pose. But again, this isn't something that I'm going to get just because I'm a normal collector on a budget. So I do have to be somewhat choosy with the figures that I'm getting. So I'm going to pass on this. although outside of my NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I have not gotten into the quarter scale rabbit hole, if you will. I already got enough going on with 6 scale, so I'm kind of trying to keep it all, 6 scale for now. I've looked at the Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi in quarter scale, but I just can't pull the trigger at this point. Room is not something that I have a whole lot of, so I know I have more room than some others out there, but I'm going to pass. So I still think this looks like a really cool figure, and I still think a lot of people are going to get this because it's kind of a one-of-a-kind figure. So yeah, looks pretty amazing. I'm pretty psyched for you guys that do like this to be able to have this to your collection. Shane says, here's the thing though. I have quarter scale Mark III and the gantry. The gantry features an Iron Man 1 in a scene with Mark III. Those are bullet holes in the scene. It should work with the quarter scale Mark III. Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question. Not sure about that one. Yeah, it looks, I don't know, something about Iron Man figures just with I think the bright red, the paintwork, mostly when they're die cast too. It's a one of a kind figure. So, I mean, again, plastic, but it looks pretty darn good here. So, speaking of Iron Man, in case you guys didn't know, the Mark 85 battle damage version was released. I think Hot Toys did a great job with this head sculpt of Tony Stark. We aren't getting any Tony Stank today, so that's great. I was so excited when they announced this. I just couldn't wait. So I actually got the clean version of the Mark 85. And that one's good for now. We'll see. I might still get this, but it at least holds me off for right now. All right. So this has been talked about. I'm not going to spend too much time on the Mark 85 battle damage version, but man, look at this. Like, again, Hot Toys is just doing a great job with the head sculpts this past year. So I'd love to know in the comments which Mark 85 you're going to get. If you're going to get one of them, would you get the clean version or would you get this? I think this works in a few different poses, but this is probably what most of us would put the figure in as a pose. It would be this iconic scene. It's the last scene of Iron Man. Tony Stark is Iron Man. So I think a lot of people have this at like the center of their display type of thing. For me, I don't know. We'll see. I might get this, but I'd love to know in the comments what you guys think of this figure. If this is something you would get, or if you have the clean version 85 and that's kind of what you want to stick with. Man, look at that. Tell me that ain't Tony Stark right there. And for the most part, the battle damage, it's not as soft as maybe like the battle damage Thanos that we've gotten. You can see some pretty good detail going on in this suit right here. The scratches, the claw marks or the sword marks, they go pretty deep. So I think they did a good job. One of the knocks was that they didn't have anything on the back of the figure. And some people are like, well, I don't plan on really showing the back of my figure in the display. I'm going to see the front. So they don't really care. But others are like, well, we want the most accurate thing of Iron Man. So I don't know. I think this is beautiful. I'm still not sure if I'm going to get it because now that I have the 85 clean version, we'll see. I could always sell that one and get this. But yeah, it's iconic. I mean, it's well done. This thing we waited for, geez, how long did we wait for this thing to come out? This is like what, the second last Endgame figure to come out. Endgame was in what, 2019? So we're going on 3 years and we're still not even done with the line. Like, I get COVID and everything really kind of pushed things back, but it was a while. It was a long wait and everybody was wondering when we were going to get this. And well, it's finally here. So we can finally add them to the collection. But does anybody know what the last Endgame figure we're waiting for is? It's actually Loki from Endgame. We still don't have that figure. So I'm hoping it's got to be Q1 of 2022 here. But Rob says his face is perfect. Yes, Rob, it is pretty perfect. I would agree. Shane says it's amazing. had the clean version or the sideshow, but then when this was announced, contacted them, they allowed me to cancel the clean version and transfer. That's pretty cool that they gave you your non-refundable deposit and they let you switch that. I've never even thought about doing that. I just figured it says non-refundable, so I'm kind of screwed, but might be something to do also is, try to contact Sideshow and transfer that. So yes, sir, it is Loki. But man, if you can just create this, that's pretty cool too. I'm not a big fan of these attachments. They're like a really like that clamshell plastic. So does anybody else, like, I just watched Infinity War and Endgame this past week because I had some time off. Does anybody else still just get teary-eyed when Peter Parker flakes away in Infinity War? Well, and when Tony Stark dies too, man, that's still a tearjerker. Yeah, look at that profile. That's awesome. I thought maybe at first the hair was a little too tall, but no, I think it's great. The only other knock with this figure that I've seen from other collectors is he comes with articulated hands so you can move them, but he doesn't come with a gripping hand to grip this weapon here. So I've had the RoboCop, and it's kind of the same thing. I always had the hardest time getting my RoboCop to hold the pistol just right. So, man, it's just such a problem with that stuff. You wish they would have just given us a hand that would be made to hold this. So, all right. Let's see. That's pretty good. And to tell you the truth, with my 85 clean version, I did get the Tony Stank head sculpt, the first head sculpt that then was switched out by Sideshow. So that might go into factor if I eventually get this one too. So, we'll see. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. All right. Well, yeah, we did spend a little bit more time than I thought we would on that one. Let's come back here. All right. So those are just some of the figures that were, actually, we got into the releases already right there because, yeah, Iron Man came out already. But now we're going to get into more releases. So let me just run up here and click that. Getting ahead of myself here a little bit. All right, guys. I need to know what you all think of this. Is that not a sick figure or what? That is crazy. This looks like I'm looking at a screenshot of Pennywise from the movie. Unfortunately for me, this isn't going to be one I'm going to get because while I have seen the It movies, I'm not a big horror fan. Like, I don't collect it or anything like that. But man, this figure might be like best of the year in line for at least top 5 for best of the year, if you would count it for 2021, because it was just released last week. But geez, yeah, it's creepy to say the least. And yeah, this guy Pennywise got sculpted hair, which was a great idea. You're gonna have perfect hair there. And I mean, just the stuff that this figure comes with, you get 2 head sculpts. It's almost like a DX figure. The outfit is going to be all like a cloth material, so you can pose this thing any way you'd like. You can get him into the creepy poses. He's got great articulation. You don't have to worry about any of the outfit deteriorating over time. This is the second head sculpt. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I could have something like this in my collectible room. I'd just be freaked out by it. But this thing is a work of art. And I know a lot of people were waiting for this thing forever. This thing was announced before I even started collecting in April of 2020. So I went on Man of Hot Collectibles show a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about this. Will it ever get released? And I'm like, geez, I don't remember this thing being announced. And that's because it was so long ago that I wasn't even collecting then. So look at the base. Look at the base this thing comes with. None of that cheap, squared off, plain Jane base. Hot Toys is doing more of the diorama style bases nowadays. And gosh, this just looks sick. and I don't know if this head pops out because it is kind of weird having the head down here. Plus, you have Pennywise on top. But gosh, even still, like I love the nameplate. It has that same look of the movie. It's just it's hard to describe how great this is. Now, this isn't Star Wars. This isn't Marvel. This isn't DC. Hot Toys went out of their kind of their zone here to make this. So I do think if you're a fan of horror movies, of Pennywise, of It, support this figure by getting it because this isn't something Hot Toys normally focuses on. So if we want more Terminator figures or Predator figures or whatever the case may be, support stuff like this and let Hot Toys know that you like it because we want them to get more of this kind of stuff, not just focus on, like, I love Star Wars, Marvel, and DC, but I'd also love it if they would focus some of their time on stuff like this so that we could get more things. Like, and DC is one of the three, but I still think they kind of cheapen out on DC a little bit. And I think DC gets a bad rap, if I'm going to be completely honest. We haven't gotten a Penguin from Batman Returns. We haven't gotten a Catwoman from Batman Returns. Yeah, I mean, there's just, Die Hard, John McClane from Die Hard. Let's get some of that other stuff going too. And I think this is a good figure that people can get behind, and maybe we can get more figures kind of like this. Let's just check back in here. Josh with the halftime update. Chubb has 35 yards rushing. I'm looking good so far, but it just takes one run and I'm out. So he also said Pennywise looks like his sister. That must be a scary house to live in, Josh, and I do feel sorry for you. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. And then, of course, he's joking. But Daniel says he's surprised it's not footprints in the sand base. Oh, man. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, that's a great joke. Hot Toys is known for recycling these bases, especially the Star Wars, the sand with the footprints. They finally are changing that, though, Daniel. If you hadn't caught that with the Fennec, instead now they're going with the printed sand with no footprints, so it's all going to be smooth. So same thing, they're kind of just recycling, but at least making it a little bit better. But yeah, that's a good one. We got Pop Rain in the house. I want 1/6 Chuck. Oh, Chucky probably, yeah. That would be pretty cool too. The balloon looks great. Excuse me. The outfit looks really well tailored. Again, I can't say enough good about this figure. And it's kind of sad that I'm not going to get it because look at this. Like, iconic Pennywise right here with that creepy, like, strut or walk. Man, these photos are great. Like this is something you can do with this figure. He's going to articulate really well. That clothing is not going to restrict him one bit. You don't have to worry about keeping him in this pose because it's not going to ruin or damage the figure. So, gosh, kind of makes me want to go back and watch that movie. That head sculpt's creepy. I would prefer the other one, but man, the dancing clown. Daniel says that he never uses those stands. He uses a third party. If possible, I try to not use stands at all just because I think it takes away from the figure a little bit. I like to have mine just kind of stand on their own. It is kind of risky because, especially with, I have two little girls, if they're banging on the cabinets or whatnot, I'm like, hey, you see them shaking on there. But I think they just look better without the stands. Now, some of those figures, they just won't stand without the stand. So, you got to kind of work around that. But Travis says he wants a Jason or Freddy. I know if you guys watch Dean Knight, he's big into horror and he's really getting into it lately as well. And I think he's probably got like third party Jason and Freddy's, if I'm not mistaken. Pop Rain says you have X-Men from Sideshow. I don't have any X-Men figures. I have Logan from Wolverine by the company called 11. And actually, he's right here. And I can go full quick, too. This is actually a really good figure. This is Logan from the movie Logan from 11. I think the head sculpt looks pretty spot on right there if it can focus. Look at that. And those claws are actually die cast. So that was really cool. But no, I don't have any other X-Men figures. Lewis in the house. What's up, Lewis? Thanks for stopping in. Daniel says he's had some fall to the floor and break. Oof. So never no stand for him. You can also get the museum gel. I've done a video about that quite a while ago on some Hot Toys tips. It works pretty good. I still don't use it. I don't know. It could be laziness. It could be I just like living life on the edge. But for the most part, I don't have too many stands going on back there. You probably saw it from the collection video I just did a couple weeks ago. Shane says no stands if possible, so he agrees. Yeah, you just got to make sure you're being careful because, yeah, you don't want them to fall. Lewis, we actually just got done chatting about the quarter scale Iron Man 4, but if you got any thoughts, let me know. Yep, die-cast claws. What is it? Antimanium or claws? But anyways, coming back here to Pennywise. Creeps me out. But look at that. Like, if you're a photographer, look at all the stuff that you can do with these figures. Jiminy Christmas. Look at the detail on the forehead. Like, it's almost like he's peeling and the paint's peeling and the eyes look real. It looks like, at least from here, he's got like saliva kind of on the teeth. You know how he's dripping saliva all the time. Here's a good look at the base. So you got Georgie's little boat, got the grass on top and a little sewer drain. That's a great looking base. And it doesn't look like it's going to take up too much real estate. So that would be one that I would like to display. So again, Daniel and I were kind of talking about bases and how we tend to not use them. If Hot Toys, which they've also started doing, if they start making more diorama bases, I would love to incorporate those into the collection because those look good. I just don't like using the cheap bases that make them look like toys. I want them to look as real as possible. A couple more photos, and then we'll move on to another great photo right here. Just really creepy with that balloon. And then here's the second head sculpt. And he does come with like the claws here too, so that's pretty sick. But, excuse me. Let's move on to the next one, and we'll kind of pick it up here a little bit. This is Batgirl. Man, I feel bad because this is another one I'm passing on. Now, Pennywise, again, I think that's an amazing figure. Like I said, top 5 easily for figure of the year. It's just not something that I'm into. Batman is one of my favorite, he's my favorite superhero. Star Wars is my favorite franchise. But I never got into the Arkham Knight games too much. I played the very first couple. But this is Batgirl. She was just released a couple weeks ago or last week. And you're going to be able to get her into some good poses. That's for sure. We got rooted hair, which is kind of a bummer. Like, I guess the reason why they couldn't do sculpted hair is because you wouldn't really be able to move the head without probably tearing up that cape. So I get it. Sometimes you just have to do rooted hair. But you really got to put some work into futzing with that rooted hair if you want to get it looking just right. It can be done. I have the Gamora, and I got her hair looking pretty decent, but they shed a lot. It just kind of goes everywhere when you're just posing them. But there's a nice shot of her as well. Get the backside. This is the one thing I don't like, actually, is this is kind of like an Iron Man bottom, where this isn't seamless, and I think it takes away from the realisticness of the figure. That's a cool cowl, by the way. But I don't know why they did that. I'm just see if I can get it looks like a magazine cover or something. Let's see here. Rob said, let's get a Pattinson Batman. And we're going to talk about that in a couple minutes here. And a Catwoman. That would be cool, too. And then Lewis asked when the Batman comes out. It's actually March 4th of 2022. I'm really hoping I can go see that movie because that one looks good. If you guys haven't seen the newest trailer, that's been out for a couple weeks and it looks pretty good. So check that out. Dan says you have to get a Barbie hairbrush set to take care of her. Yeah, kind of like they gave you with Chewbacca. You get that little brush that you just kind of comb the hair with. Just get it looking right. Get a little beard putty and put it on the hair and you get it looking just right. It's a cool outfit, though. I like the gold with the black. See, like right here, you can just see the gap, and it just doesn't look real. And again, it's probably for posability. And you probably don't have to worry about, when you have her in like a certain pose, you're not gonna have to worry about wrinkles or stretching or ripping right here. So, that's fine. You do get some face plates with her. Let's just kind of move along here. All right, right here. Let's go back. You can see right here. Again, it's not the end of the world. I think a lot of people are going to like this, and I'm glad they're showing DC a little love at least. But again, it's just not one I'm going to get. Here's the angle right on the butt. Just gap. But outside of that, the gauntlets look really cool. The cape, I've heard, is kind of a mess, but man, why can't Hot Toys make great capes? We always have to get custom capes. Like, why cheap out on the figure when you put so much work into it? Oh, let's just give it a crappy cape that looks terrible. I don't know. Charge me a little bit more. I'll buy the cape from you. Otherwise, I'm going to get it from somebody else. So that's Batgirl. She does look pretty cool, I will say. It's different. So I think a lot of the DC fans are going to like that. I don't know if any of you out there are going to get it. I'd love to hear in the comments below. Yeah, and Lewis says it's probably posability reasons, and I get that. And you got to kind of sacrifice one for the other. Like for me, I'll always sacrifice posability for realism. I'd rather have the figure looking super real. And if because I'm more of like museum pose, but like not standing straight up and down, but I'm not into dynamic poses because I want to preserve these figures. So I'm into more of like simple but effective poses. But yeah, that's a really good point. It's probably for posability. So I see a new industry, 1/6 scale hair products. Oh my gosh. Little spray bottles and little combs, and that'll be the day. Josh says he doesn't like who they casted as Batman. So that's a fair point. I know Twilight gives them a bad rap. But I always give people a chance ever since I saw Heath Ledger as the Joker in The Dark Knight, because I remember seeing, well, not even the preview, but I remember them casting Heath Ledger. I was like, oh my gosh, they could have done so much better. Like Heath Ledger is the Joker. Come on. And then I saw the first trailer and I was like, holy cow, this looks awesome. This guy looks creepy, and he did a great job. So, and Rob kind of has a point here. I think he'll surprise us. And I like what I've seen so far from the trailers. And I'm looking forward to the movie. It looks pretty dark. It looks pretty, I don't know about gruesome, just dark, and not visually, and just Gotham looks like a real shithole, to be honest. But, it's supposed to be year 2 of Batman, so he's going to be more reckless. I don't think he really cares about himself. And you can see that from the trailers. He's getting the car wrecks. He's taking bullets in the chest plates. Like, does anybody not want to shoot him in the head? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. I think he could surprise us. Daniel says, don't judge until the movie comes out. I remember when Mr. Mom was the first cast as Batman in the 80s, and he surprised me. Yeah, a lot of people were upset when Keaton was cast as Batman in 89 because, he did Beetlejuice. And I know a lot of people didn't like that, but Travis says him not taking the role seriously gives him a bad rap. Are we talking about Pattinson yet? Because I think he did pretty good. I know he got a little frustrated with the director because he was just, reshooting till it was perfect. So I think that, and they shut down for COVID for a little bit. Oh no. Shane says, FYI, the Boba Fett and Throne has hit waitlist on Sideshow. No way. We got to go check that out. Josh says he's not judging the movie. I'm sure. we all have feelings about actors we like and don't like, but we all want perfection, so that's what we're all about. But we have one more figure release to get into, and this is like the main event here. This is what I've been wanting to talk about. And if you follow me on Instagram, follow the Jedi Knights Watch on Instagram, you'll see I I posted a couple of side-by-side pictures of the prototype Wonder Woman, the golden armor from Wonder Woman 84, and then the blogger photos of the released item. And I was a little disappointed, to say the least. You know, I get it. The prototype is not the final product, and I just had hope. My hopes were high for this because this was the very first figure that I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered her back in, I don't know, April or May of 2020, and I held out on getting other Wonder Woman figures because I just didn't think they looked accurate to Gal Gadot at all. I wanted one really bad, and that's, you know, I feel sad for not having a Wonder Woman figure. My kids love Wonder Woman, but I was going to hold out because this one looked great. So it was supposed to come out, I think, last spring, and it got delayed with COVID and everything like that. So, you know, kept getting delayed on Sideshow, delayed on Sideshow. I'm like, is this figure ever coming out? Like, the head sculpt just looks amazing. Can we please get this Wonder Woman? And she was finally released, and then we saw the photos, and we're just like, shit. Like, that's not what we were thinking we were gonna get. And it's easy to get emotional right away and to say, I'm canceling my pre-order. A lot of people on Facebook, I heard, were canceling pre-orders. We're like, I'm not getting this. This is terrible. This is just like Tony Stank head sculpt. And I was kind of on board with that too. But looking into this, I think it's not going to be that bad. I think we're going to be okay. So let's just take a look here. Like, this photo looks amazing. And I think if you're going to keep the helmet on the figure, I don't think you're going to have any problems whatsoever. I think it looks great. Again, we do have rooted hair. The reason this is because you have all this golden armor. And just think, if you have that sculpted hair and you try to move the head at all, you're going to be scratching up that paint. I've already seen, and that's another worry about this figure, I've seen some paint scratches already on a couple people that got their figure like around the joints, like the ankle joint. So that's something to worry about. But she might have more posability because we don't have the seamless arms. So, you know, when we had the seamless arms, you had to worry about, you know, bending all the way, and then it rips here behind the elbow. So I don't know, but I think it looks really good here. Here it looks really good. Like, I thought at first maybe the paint applications didn't look like, they looked too soft. They didn't look detailed, and maybe it didn't look as good, but I think we're okay. Like, this right here is the moneymaker right here. And this is the version, they have two versions. This is the normal version, then they have they have the deluxe, which the wingspan is fully out, and that's, again, going to be huge. You probably need like a Maju case to display that in. Too much space, but from here, she looks great. I love the pattern, the design underneath the armor. The movie sucked, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I feel bad because I had high hopes for the movie. I was really let down. I thought it dragged. I was bored. Barely saw any Wonder Woman. The CGI was terrible. The storyline seemed kind of weird. The villain wasn't great. But yet, I saw the head sculpt for this, and I'm like, I'm pre-ordering that because it's a Wonder Woman that finally looks like Gal Gadot. So I did. Then we get it wasn't as bad as the Tony Stank, but we get the kind of pushback from the community, like, what the hell are we getting here? This is amazing right here, by the way, too. But what are we getting? You know, it just sucks for the figure because the movie was not good. But it is Wonder Woman, so I do think a lot of people are still going to buy this. I hope people don't cancel their pre-orders for this because this figure looks pretty cool. Okay, so here we're starting to have a little bit of issues. And this is kind of what people were upset about. And before we get into that, let's just kind of go back here and regroup here. So Lewis says that he agrees the prototype head sculpt looks way better than what was released. And we'll kind of show a side-by-side there. The helmeted head sculpt completed the overall look. Lewis hasn't seen the film yet, though, so do it at your own risk. It's okay. I don't know. Did anybody out there like the film? I've seen it once. I just couldn't go back again. But going back to the shot here, I don't know if the head size looks a little different. I think the head sculpt is just as good as the prototype. I think the hair is what's throwing this off. The hair looked better in the prototype photos. So I don't know if whoever took these shots just didn't know how to do the 1/6 scale hair styling, or if the shots are just at angles that I'm just not a fan of. But that's the thing we're going to get with rooted hair. You're going to have to work with it in order to get it to look just right. But I think if you just focus in, like, that looks like Gal Gadot, in my opinion. So this looks really good. But I think the hair just throws it off a little bit. So I think if you have the helmet on, you're not going to notice that, and it's going to be perfectly fine. But we were all like, this head sculpt is great. I'm not going to have the helmet on. I'm going to pose her like this because she looks amazing. So I do have this coming to me, and I'm going to review it. It actually shipped this morning, so I'll probably have it. It's coming from overseas. It's probably coming in like 2 weeks. So I'm excited to review this and get it in hand. And I did see somebody shoot a video with it in hand, and I was a lot happier with seeing it as opposed to seeing these photos. So I am optimistic that it is going to be a good figure, and I still think people should keep their pre-orders and get it because it's a cool suit too. It's not classic Wonder Woman, but it's really, really cool. And with the helmet on, I think it looks great. Man, it's unique. It's just, and it looks like they have like a split cut boot. So you're not going to have like some of these female figures where when you pose them, their feet aren't even like on the ground. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. Like this, I just think it's a bad photo. Like, I don't know. I don't like the angle. I don't like the photo, the look. It's just weird. This looks okay. The head, I don't know. Does the jaw look off or does the head look a little too big? I don't know. Sometimes you like think about it for so long. You're just like, maybe it's just me. So Travis says it's not a terrible movie. It's okay, but I think we all had our hopes pretty high after the first Wonder Woman that we were pretty let down. Oh, Shane says that he just DM'd me on Instagram. Mark 1 and Boba on the throne on waitlist, but it's sideshow, so maybe it's just a glitch. You know, that has happened before where they kind of get you all frantic, and then it comes back like a day or two later, so that's a good point. Daniel says doesn't look like Gal Gadot. I don't know. I see it. I do see it. I think once we get it in hand, it'll look a lot better. But you know, that one, I think it's the hair that really just throws it off. There's one of these where the hair just looks like this doesn't look good. It's Barbie hair. Gosh, such a shame. Like that. I think that looks like Gal Gadot. I see it. Is it perfect? No. Is it a step down from the prototype? Yes. Is it still better than what we've had? I think so. Look at this. This is from Justice League. So this was like one of the last Wonder Woman figures that we got outside of, I think, the training Wonder Woman. So that, to me, I couldn't get that figure. It doesn't look anything like her. Plus, the rooted hair looks awful. Like, who is that? That's not Gal Gadot. I don't know who that is. And some people might see her, and it's just subjective, but I couldn't. I don't see her. Maybe a little bit right here, but I don't know. So that looks awesome, but yeah, that's going to take up some real estate right there. I'm excited to get this. I was really bummed on the weekend when this was like announced and everybody was kind of losing their minds. I was pretty bummed, but you know, this photo, the hair, it doesn't look right. It's too poofy, and like here too. I don't like this. I don't like this photo at all. So some of these, yeah, we just got to kind of take with a grain of salt. But in hand, I do think it's going to look pretty good. That is going to look great right there. So I don't think you're going to have to worry if you want the helmet on, which Hot Toys is making a Wonder Woman 84 with the sculpted hair, which comes out I think supposed to be first quarter of this year. So who knows? But so I think I'll get that one, pose her, and then I'll have this one with the helmet on. So I have kind of two different looks, and that'll probably be how I display her. But I'm excited. Like, if you get her in some cool light, she's gonna really shine. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to be really careful with the figure because I think she might scratch or chip easily. So hopefully she doesn't. Hopefully Hot Toys took care of that, but you just kind of never know. Some more cool pictures here. Let's see. I want to check out just a couple of the side-by-sides really quick with the prototype and then the actual release. Let's see here. Just size this up for you quick. All right. The phone's ringing. Let me just check this because nobody's given me updates on the score. Oh my gosh, I might win, guys. I have an 80% chance. But it's only the third quarter. So it's only the third. You guys are keeping me busy so I don't have to focus on football and I can just focus on superheroes like Gal Gadot. And Daniel says, Gal Gadot is perfection. Impossible to capture that. I agree. She is perfection. And she did a really great job. That's another character that I didn't know anything about Gal Gadot as an actress, but another character when I heard she was playing Wonder Woman, I was like, oh. I was like, man, but yeah, I think if we give them a shot, we're usually pretty surprised. So here's a comparison. So to me, the lighting's different in this one. You know, you get the pink light hitting it. This is a better overall photo. But I do think they look pretty good. This one maybe looks a little softer. It's kind of weird that Hot Toys had her kind of looking off a little bit instead of straight on. But the hair looks a lot better, a lot more styled in this photo, where here it's just like Barbie hair. Like you kind of got it curled up here and here's just straight down. I don't know. So I think that's where the main problem is going to come in, is trying to get the hair just right, because it's going to be a problem. Here's another one, like the one on the left. Like now that I'm going back and looking at them side by side, it's just like, damn. But I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. They're just photos, but there you can kind of see the prototype here, the finished product here. It's different. Oh well. Let's get it in hand and see, right? All right. So let me know what you guys think of the Wonder Woman figure coming out. Will you be picking her up or are you going to pass? I'm definitely still getting her. I think she looks cool. I need a Wonder Woman in the collection. So a couple weeks she should be here and I will get that review out to you guys as soon as I can. All right. So the next thing that is just talking about the Book of Boba Fett for a couple minutes. Thoughts, figures we may get from that show. Let me just see. No. Let's refresh this and see if he's on. So the collector's edition for Boba and the Throne is still pre-order. The exclusive is on waitlist. I never know what the difference is between the two, especially when they're the same price. So if anybody can fill me in on what the difference is between collector's edition and exclusive, I would love to know. But you can still pre-order this one. Right. Book of Boba Fett. Has anybody not seen the first episode? Because I'm not going to get into really too many spoilers. I don't think there's a ton to spoil. So I think we'll be okay. I just want to say that I am super excited with what Star Wars is doing lately. Jon Favreau has really saved the franchise with The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett. We're getting Obi-Wan this year. We're getting Ahsoka's standalone. So it's going to be great for Star Wars. And I know Hot Toys is going to milk these sitcoms or these miniseries for everything that they have. So I think it's going to be a really good thing. So Lewis and Daniel have not seen the first episode yet. That's okay. We're not going to get into spoilers too much here. I'm just going to go into a little bit of the backstory. So no worries. I still haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home. So I haven't even watched The Witcher season 2 yet. I got to watch The Witcher. I actually just finished Yellowstone season 4 tonight. If you guys want a good show to watch, Yellowstone is a good one. So watch that. I bought it on iTunes. It's on like Paramount or something like that. But that's a pretty good show too. Book of Boba Fett miniseries, 6 episodes. And I loved the first part where we kind of like, we saw him in The Mandalorian and I'm just like, okay, wait. Boba Fett died in the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi. How are we just going to bring him back and make sense of this? Like, come on. Is this more lazy writing? But they explain it. Like, obviously, Jabba said that you would be digested in the belly of the beast for 1,000 years of suffering. So it's like a really, really, really slow, painful death. And we get an image of Boba Fett in the Sarlacc pit and how he gets out. And it was just really cool. There's a lot of Easter eggs in the first episode, but something they do well is they don't smack you on the head with it. They make it like they give you the fan service, but they don't overdo it. Kind of like the new sequels did, in my opinion. They just hitting you over the head with the Easter eggs and the fan service. And I'm like, geez, can we like make this its own story, please? And I think so far, the Book of Boba Fett is doing that. And we see the wreckage from Jabba's, like, I guess, what do you call them? They're not speeders, but his vehicles that they're in. We see the tentacle of the Sarlacc pit monster that Han shot that was grabbing Lando. It's kind of laying there. So, like, just those little things, like, to me, it just makes it more believable, more realistic. And I loved it. So then we see what happens to him. Of course, Jawas come back and they're like, just steal all of his stuff. And so he's left for dead. And then we have Tusken Raiders that come and find him, and he's their prisoner. And I won't tell you kind of how that turns out. But then we go back to present time too, and him and Fennec just kind of together. And Fennec was announced by Hot Toys a few weeks ago, and I did a video on that if you guys want to check it out. A preview on her, and I think that head sculpt looks 10 out of 10. And I was holding off on that until I kind of saw the Book of Boba Fett, because I want to be like, well, I don't have any connection to her. So if she's really good in the Book of Boba Fett, then yeah, I'll get her and I'll get Boba with the throne. I had no ambition to get Boba in the throne, but now it's pretty tempting. And this is how they get you. They announce it and then they make the series and it's really good. And you're just like, I need that, because I have Empire Strikes Back Boba right now. And it's a great figure. But then you see this guy just sitting on the throne, and then you can have Fennec on the side. Man. Josh says he's seen it. Lewis says it's Jabba's sail barrage. Yes, that's right. Lots of good flashbacks. Yeah, and that was the cool part. And the one thing that I also liked was the fact that we get more Tusken Raider storyline, info, background, whatever you want to call it. So if you guys watch the original Star Wars trilogy, we get the Tusken Raiders for maybe a couple scenes. I think just the one scene in A New Hope on Tatooine. And then we get them in the prequels, I think just for the pod race where they're shooting at the pod racers. So we really didn't know anything about them or, what they're all about. And at first we just knew them as Sand People, but now their actual name is Tusken Raiders. So We got more of them in Mandalorian Season 2, which was awesome. Hot Toys made a Tusken Raider figure, but then, and I haven't gotten that figure yet. I do want it, but now I might hold off because they give us these Tusken Raiders that have like more black to them. They're darker, dirtier. It's like a different tribe, I guess, and it's pretty cool. They look like there's a lot more depth to them, I think, than the other Tusken Raiders. But I would still get those too. But I don't know. They from what I've heard, there is a rumor that these guys worship Darth Vader. I'm not too familiar with that backstory. If you guys know anything about that, you can let me know in the comments. But from what a rumor I heard is they worship Darth Vader. Now, I don't know how that works exactly, but they have Boba Fett hostage, and you kind of see what happens from there on out. I won't spoil it, but I can almost guarantee Hot Toys is going to announce this as a figure. I couldn't see why not. They gave us the Tusken Raider, but this is different enough that I think we could get this, especially if the Book of Boba Fett is as good as we all think it's going to be. I think they're going to, like I said, Mandalorian, they milk that thing for everything it's worth. How many Mando figures are we getting? We got the first Mando. We got the Beskar Mando. We got different versions with Child. We got the Chrome version coming out. We got quarter scale. And we got so many figures from the Mandalorian that I just think this is going to be made eventually too. And that would be a good figure to have. The other thing that I could see them doing is we saw some Gamorrean guards. They look different from Return of the Jedi. Like, I don't know, some in the face. Like, they almost don't look as good as Return of the Jedi. But they could make this figure as well because we don't have a Gamorrean guard. So why not, right? I'd be pretty happy with that. I mean, again, this is like, to me, classic Star Wars, what I grew up with. Like these guys, like Return of the Jedi as a kid was always like my favorite movie. So that if we could get these guys, again, they have kind of dual purposes where you can use it for Book of Boba Fett or Return of the Jedi. Same with the Tusken Raiders. So I think that also it kind of reaches more of a group of people that you can have multiple uses for it. So I could see us getting these guys. But you know, they already announced Fennec. We already have the Boba Fett ones coming out. It's only episode 1, so we're going to probably get a lot more characters that potentially will get made. But I do think a lot of this stuff that you're seeing, I think Hot Toys is going to make. So that's pretty exciting. I am excited for all the stuff they're doing. You know, what other stuff are we going to get? We were talking about Batman earlier. Is Pattinson going to be released? Yes. But the thing is, like with Hot Toys time frame, is it going to be before the movie comes out? Is it going to be right when the movie comes out? Is it going to be 6 months after the movie comes out? Like, why doesn't Hot Toys strike the iron when it's hot? Like, announce these figures when the buildup is at its peak. And then, to me, you'd get so many people pre-ordering. The one thing that, and this, I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a minute, is we're already like, why do we have to wait a year and a half, sometimes 2 years for these figures to come out? To me, Hot Toys should be like 6 months after it's announced. It should be coming out. And I get things with COVID and stuff happen, but like your standard, I think, should still be like 6 months. So Yelena, for instance, announced for Black Widow, 3 months after the movie already came and gone. Nobody was talking about Black Widow. And then they announced Yelena. I get it because she was in Hawkeye and whatnot. So, you know, that helps. But then you got to wait a year and a half. And by that time, we might be on to the next figure. So I don't know. That's just me probably ranting a little bit. But Gamorrean Guards would be cool. This Tusken Raider would be pretty cool. Spider-Man, No Way Home. Doc Ock. Electro. Green Goblin. Green Goblin would be pretty sick. That would be the one I would want the most. I'd love to know which one you guys would want the most here. For me, it's Green Goblin. Hold on a second here. Let's go to the update. Josh says, touchdown Browns. Okay. So what does that mean? It's still the third quarter. So we got a long way to go, unfortunately. Oh, Lewis says he would love if Hot Toys made Green Goblin diecast. That'd be pretty cool. I gotta admit, it'd be pricey, but it'd be pretty cool. So again, I haven't seen the movie, but Electro was like my least favorite villain of the Spider-Man, of the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I just didn't buy it. I didn't like it. Green Goblin is pretty cool. Doc Ock is a classic villain as well. I gotta say, I think Hot Toys will make all three of them. I really do. I don't know when. Again, are they gonna wait a while, or I don't know what they wait for. I don't know. They got a lot of figures coming out, I guess. It's pretty crazy. I don't know how people kind of keep up with it, but yeah, I think we'll get all three of these. I think we'll get Robert Pattinson, the Batman. I think we're going to get a lot more from Star Wars, obviously. Again, Marvel, Star Wars, DC, they're money makers. They're going to make these figures. So Shane says, I love Doc Ock and the battle damaged Hobgoblin style Green Goblin. That'd be cool. Josh with the update. It was Baker to Najoku. Sounds good, buddy. Thank you. Alrighty, let's see. Let's come back full here. And let's see. So I'd love to hear in the comments below what you guys think are other figures we might be getting either from No Way Home or other movies. Maybe, again, we talked about Batman coming out soon. What figures do you think are going to come out? So we're almost going to wrap this up here, but I wanted to quickly go through my 2022 most anticipated figures. And let me just bring this up. Again, this is my first time live streaming. I appreciate all of you guys being here for it, but just know we're still kind of working out some of the kinks. Let's see here. Let's get to the first figure on here. Lewis says he loves my Thanos in the background here. Yeah, he is pretty cool. I actually, though, just today, I got the battle damage version in. So I'm going to review that, compare them, the two here, and then this guy is going to probably get sold. So he won't be sticking around, but we got the battle damage version coming. So excited for that as well. I wonder if Hot Toys will release a Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. And I think so. That's I'd say 95% sure, probably 99% sure they will do that. Yes, from the final episode of Hawkeye. What do you guys think of Hawkeye? I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I don't know if it'll be memorable, but I thought it was good. It made me like Hawkeye a lot more. Lewis says you're doing great, Jedi. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Most anticipated, Snowspeeder Luke. Yes, that will be a good one. I'm excited for that one too. I'd love it if they could make a decent Luke head sculpt. Battle damage Thanos. I actually got something else that came today too. And I'll talk about that at the end when I'm talking about some of the videos that come up. So yeah, let's talk about some of my most anticipated figures that I'm looking forward to. This isn't like an official list or anything like that. So, all right. This might shock everybody. And maybe it won't. I don't know. But one of them on my list is the Wonder Woman 84. Again, this was one of my first figures that I pre-ordered. And I think the reason I'm really looking forward to it is A, I don't have a Wonder Woman yet, and B, sculpted hair, so I don't have to mess with that. So that's really exciting. The Wonder Woman 84, the suit looks vibrant, but it's still somewhat classic. Again, not a big fan of the movie, but I think this figure is going to be great as long as they get that head sculpt right. But there, I mean, that's Gal Gadot. So yeah, I hope this will be a really good one. You know, her little like skirt here looks like it's supposed to look like pleather, but I think it's going to be like an imitation pleather, so you won't have to worry about that. We will have seamless arms, so just gonna have to be careful with the posing. But I'm excited for this sculpted hair, and Wonder Woman. Gotta get Wonder Woman into the collection. The next one that I'm really excited about is Ahsoka. And no, it's not Ahsoka from the Clone Wars or the animated series, but it's going to be from The Mandalorian. I thought Rosario Dawson did a really great job, and I'm looking forward to her standalone sitcom. And I have watched some of the Clone Wars, especially with Ahsoka, so I understand why everybody has such like a love affair with the character. She is very likable. You know, in The Mandalorian, she had some great scenes as well, just in that one episode. So I'm looking forward to this. It almost looks like, is there going to be purrs going on here? She's looking that way. Now she's looking forward. Not sure, but yeah, this one I can't wait to get in hand. So looking forward to that. I think the head sculpt looks good. So that will be another fun one to get. We're looking at probably Q3 of 2022. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed back here. And we're sticking with Mandalorian because obviously that's what's hot right now. And Bo-Katan is the other one that I'm really looking forward to. I think I saw some photos here, and I do think they've kind of updated the head sculpt a little bit, so she's not going to look so manly, if that's the word. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. She looks great in her suit. Like, you get Mando, Ahsoka, all together in Bo-Katan. It's going to be a great trio to have for your Mandalorian collection. The detail looks great. The paint application looks awesome, especially in the helmet. So I'm really, really excited to get Bo-Katan. I'm really excited to see what happens in season 3 with that Darksaber. So that will be fun too. And again, she's looking maybe like Q2 of 2022. So hopefully that keeps pace there. Another one that I'm really looking forward to is going to be Wanda. I think she looks great. I know Rob had her pre-ordered, and then he canceled for financial reasons. But I think this, and I told him I was not going to get this, but I'm kind of getting her for more of like my Endgame collection. Like, I don't really want her for WandaVision. I just want her to have, Wanda in the collection, the Scarlet Witch. So I think the head sculpt looks great. The outfit looks really cool. I like that headpiece right there. Again, sculpted hair. Hot Toys is getting away from the rooted hair, which is good. And they're getting pretty good at the sculpted hair. The likeness here, is it Ashley Olsen, I believe, is really good as well. So I don't think you can go wrong with this. And this one looks like it's going to be solid from Marvel. And again, she's going to be in the Doctor Strange 2 movie as well. So maybe we'll even get another one. I don't know. I think she's going to be the villain in that movie. So that'll be interesting to see what happens as well. I got to see Spider-Man first, and then I will definitely see Doctor Strange 2. And then one that is kind of creeped up on me. I will say the Snowspeeder Luke is another one, but it's just not on my list. But it's Boba Fett here with the throne. Let me see if I can pull him up. Hot Toys. Where are you, Boba? Yeah, Lewis says he's really excited for Snowspeeder Luke 2. I am too, but if it's not Batman or Darth Vader or Joker, typically I'm not going to collect more than one. And I do have a Luke from Return of the Jedi. And I think that's maybe the only reason it wouldn't be like one of my most anticipated, but I am looking forward to that. That was actually announced, I think, just when I started collecting as well. Shane, he agrees. It looks great. Can't go wrong with the original Star Wars trilogy. No, you can't. And they still sell really great. I'm still got Lando kind of in the back of my mind. I might pick Lando up. So, yeah, we just got to see. There's so many great releases. I have to pick and choose what I will purchase and collect. I love Scarlet Witch, but I'm holding off for now. I don't have her pre-ordered or anything like that. And I might hold off for a little bit too, but I am looking forward to it. And I agree completely with you. When we're on budgets, most of us, And, people say just collect. If you like it, just get it. And it's like, yeah, but realistically, I can't do that unless I want to be living on the street. So I do have to pick and choose because, yeah, I'll go broke. So unfortunately, there's things we have to pass on. And that's why I like Fennec. I like Fennec, but am I going to get her right away? Probably not, because she's not a staple. I don't have that emotional attachment, at least yet. So we'll see. I mean, that could change. But my next one would be Boba Fett with the throne. I had videoed this and I had no, I didn't think, desire at the time to get it. But look at this. Like, come on. If we could do this and set this up, where's the one? Look at this with the drink here, the throne with the Rancor here going on. Like, come on. Sign me up, right? So I'm very excited for this, and I do think I'll get it. We're looking at Q4 though. I do think they might try to push this out earlier, since the Book of Boba is going on now, and it's probably going to be like the next craze. So I do think that they might try to get this one out sooner rather than later, maybe summer. I think that would be a good idea if I was Hot Toys. So those are my most anticipated figures, at least right now, and that could change because things are always changing, feelings are always changing, likes are always changing. So that's pretty much it for right now. I know this actually, I think we did pretty good tonight, going for about an hour and 20 minutes. Typically, as we get more and more of a following here, we can do more questions and answers, and maybe some of the episodes will be just kind of more discussion with you guys. I think we had a great fun time tonight, and I enjoyed it. So thank you guys for just being a part of this and being nerdy with me and talking about Hot Toys. I do appreciate it. So really quickly before I let you guys go, some upcoming stuff that I'm working on. Obviously, I told you I got the battle damage Thanos. So I'll be reviewing that, comparing it to the normal Thanos here, and then this guy will go for sale so I can pay for that one. We got the 1-to-1 scale nano gauntlet, which lights up, which I'm really excited about. That might get reviewed this week. So that's like a prop from Endgame. And I have the Endgame Hulk that I got last week that I have to review that. And yeah, outside of that, I would just ask you guys, if you want to support the channel, it's free. The only thing that I would ask is that you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the bell so you know when we're doing more of these videos. I haven't settled on a specific date yet, or a day of the week. I'm thinking maybe Tuesday nights, if this time works great. I try to do it when my kids go to bed, so this might be the best time that works for me, but who knows, maybe we'll do some posing videos, some lives, and then again, Jedi Council, the Jedi Council videos, where maybe I have some of you guys live with me so we can kind of talk face to face. I think that'd be a lot of fun, and this is just a fun hobby to be in. I really enjoy it so much, and thank you guys for supporting me, supporting the channel, and until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.